Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate. This is again a continuation of the series of episodes about our schools. Are they moving on? Are they really moving on? Are they improving? So now we are talking about students, and we will focus on students. One of the questions that we usually ask the parents, or we ask the teachers and the principals, are the students improving? Are they progressing? Are they really learning? And I don't know how we answer. How can we answer this question? If I ask you, are the students in your school really moving on, progressing? And I would say that, how would you know? Are the students in your school progressing, moving? How would you know? How would you know that your students are moving on, are improving? How would you know? What are the tools that you use to know that they are learning? Yes?
The tests
The tests
which we
which,
conduct.
the tests that which we conduct. Yeah. Okay, any comment about this? Any comment? The tests that we conduct. Okay. Remember that there is a human side of this here, a personal side. We love our children. So when we write the exam, we become very merciful. So we give them an easy exam, right? So the exam, the results of the exam, the question is, do they really reflect that the students are progressing? I want you to think of this. The exams that we do in school reflect that. I'll give you an example. When I walk in the street in the morning, I think that I'm the quickest person in the world, right? I'm evaluating myself. I think that when I walk beside another person, I start to change my mind. So I'm not that quick person. So did you get the message? So the results of the exam themselves do not really say anything. We need to go deeper into this issue. Okay, can you think of any other way that we know? Okay, good.
We observe the behavior as well. Besides exams, the behavior, the
Okay, the
actions.
behavior would measure some of the things, but it doesn't measure everything, right? It doesn't measure the academic progress of the students, does it? Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, it doesn't. Okay, it measures some of aspects that are. Okay,
Whatever is taught to them, like how much knowledge is given, how much they can implement and apply in practical
okay,
day to day life.
okay, let me rephrase the question. I would say that you think that they are progressing, but are they progressing enough as other students in another school progress? Do you see what I'm trying to say? Okay, you think that they are progressing, but are they progressing at the same rate, the same speed of the students in that school? Okay,
Inter-school competitions
school competitions within the school or within schools?
within schools.
Within schools.
Yeah.
Okay, now we are moving just from one step, which is measuring the students by exams. Now we are adding another dimension, which is comparison. You cannot know that your students are doing well unless you compare them with others. At least one school beside you having the same curriculum. Is this clear? So by your exams by yourself, by themselves, are not enough at all. You have to compare this school with this school, or this school with all the schools in the area, or this school with all the schools in the country. And the best of all is this school with schools all over the world. At that time, when your students, if they take the same exam, but you cannot compare yourself with themselves if the exam is different. Because one of the exams may be easier or weaker than the other, or not comprehensive as the other. So if there is one standard exam for all Islamic schools in Dubai, or in Mumbai, or in Tokyo, right? This would be at least something better than the one school exam. But now, if you move forward, if you say that if there is one exam for all Muslim schools in the world, you can say that my school is the best, no doubt, because when I compare the results of my students with the average results all over the world, I can say that my students are doing better. Is this clear? And that's why you find some people are taking the IGCE exam. When the results of our students are here, right? And the average is here. So your school is doing better. If you don't do this comparison, there is no way that you can say that your students are doing well. Okay, this is one way of measuring the progress of students. Any comment? I hope this would be very clear, because this does not take place in many places. And that's why every school, yes, we go to schools and all the students are taking, you go home, you give the grade to the student, and he shows it to his father. I get 90%, and the father is very happy. And he doesn't know that all the other students in that school get 92 grade. In other words, this student is not good at all. And that's why even this requires from you that when you do the result, say that this student took this and the average of the students got this. So the parent can see, or the child himself can see where he is. Is he above the average of the students in class? Is he above the average of the students in the school? Is he above the average in the whole Mumbai? Do you see what I'm saying? School exams themselves cannot tell you anything. I'm sorry, this sounds very strange, but this is what we have been used to do. But this doesn't give. So the first thing is comparison, and the best comparison is international comparison, if not, I would say national, if not local, if not at least with other schools who take the same exam. Is this concept clear? I hope you write notes in this. We said that we want to improve our schools. The problem of improving our schools is what? Is that the whole world around us is running. And we have to run with them. If we don't run, definitely they will precede us. So there would never be a time that would say, I am here, because the record changes. The national or the international record changes. Last year it was 93 in math, for example. This year it may be 95. So as long as there are other schools working, and as long as other countries are working in education and they are improving the system, we have to push our system one step ahead or two steps ahead. Is this clear? So this is one way of judging our students. There are other ways of judging, evaluating our students. What? What is this? What are these? Do you think of any other way of knowing that our students are progressing or not? Yes. We're talking very academically, because this would reflect what happens in your school. Okay.
See, by having surprise, evaluations or,
Okay, quizzes. Yes, there's still quizzes. Okay. What else? Apart from quizzes, exams, what else? Are there other ways?
Interpersonal relationships.
Okay, interpersonal relationships. That's when you have even this relationship. I said that I ask my child, I find that my students in this school memorize 20 surahs per year, for example, right? But I don't know what's happening in other schools. I have to know, because while your students are memorizing 20, their other students are memorizing 30. You have to go outside the box. This box, which is your school or your class, you have to go outside to see what's happening around you in order to know that the degree of progress of your students. What other means? Okay, I will tell you one. One other thing which is even more accurate than comparing yourself with international, how we call it, averages, is standard. What is a standard? Some people would say them criteria, or some of them would say that expectations, or, okay, let's say that. Your school has designed the expectations that had set the level here. Say that student by finishing grade 6 would be able to do this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things, or 7 things. So you put standard, And then you see your students. Are they coming close to these standards? You are measuring them against the standards. When I come to your class, or you visit each other, or your parent, the parent would come, would see, okay, now the student, where are the students? Now they are in the middle of the year, and they only memorize 2 surahs. Is this clear? Okay, I will come back after we take a short break, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome back. We're going to continue what we were discussing before, and we were talking about standards, measuring students against some standards. These standards, again, can be international standards, can be national standards, can be local standards that the school selected. The school said that because this may be different from one school into another. One school, the focus is on the memorization of the Quran. So they put some expectations or some standards that may be different from another school that has a different focus. So you have standards and you can measure the students against these standards. Now we have 2 ways, the exams and the standards. The exams, again, they are not your internal exams, because the internal exam does not say a lot. Now again, we'll come back to internal exams. Even within the internal exams, are the exams measuring what they should measure, or they're measuring something else? When we examined many examination papers, we found that most of the exams measure knowledge, information. And this would be very acceptable in the past. But now there's a shift, and I'm going to talk about this in other episodes, inshallah. There's a shift from focusing 100% on knowledge to other things, like concepts and skills. And this is when we talk about teacher training, we need to reformat the brains of the teachers and everybody who works in the field of education. Education is no longer becoming focused 100% on knowledge. Just to give you a background for this, in year 2007, the amount of knowledge, the amount of information that came on the back of this planet equals the amount of information that was available on this planet for the last 5,000 years. Should I repeat that? Okay. The amount of information that became known to the people in the world in year 2007 equals the amount of information that was available on this planet for the last 5,000 years, because of technology and because of the internet. And in front of this situation, teacher should change from the focus on just knowledge, because in knowledge you cannot teach all this knowledge. Can you? Nobody can. Nobody can. Nobody can teach Tafsir ibn Kathir and al-Qurtubi and al-Tabari and all this. You cannot do that. Perhaps in the past, when we were in villages, and you go to the village and you would find only one person who is educated, and there is no library, and this person has studied Tafsir ibn Kathir very well, you can know that he is the most educated person in the world. But when you move the village to the town and you find a public library that has 2,000 books, you would say, oh, this guy is no longer the most educated one, right? This guy has very limited knowledge. And when you encounter the website of the Library of Congress, to know that it carries 35 million items. 35 million items. How can you teach all this information? In facing this situation, we see that the teachers should focus on knowledge, concepts, skills. 3 things that everyone in education should focus on. Okay? Information. Yeah. Like, I was born in 1973. Don't spread this news, okay? When was I born? 73, 1973. Very easy to repeat the piece of information. Okay? The concept is a concept like من شر النفاثات في العقد. النفاثات في العقد. You can repeat. Can you repeat it? No, 93. Can you repeat this? من شر النفاثات في العقد. This is the information. Can you explain it to me? Who can? I need somebody to explain this. What's the meaning of من شر النفاثات في العقد? I visited one school. I didn't find a single student or not a single teacher is able to explain this. Okay? You can repeat من شر النفاثات في العقد as knowledge. Okay? But you cannot explain it because it's a concept. You need to understand the concept. A concept should be understood. A knowledge is a piece of information that's learned by repetition. Mere repetition, all of us can repeat anything. A concept should be understood, cannot be learned without knowing the meaning of it. Am I clear? Do you see the difference between knowledge and concept? Every subject matter has knowledge and has concepts to understand. As-Samad is a concept. You can say it as a piece of knowledge, Allahu Samad, right? What is the meaning of it? You have to know the meaning of As-Samad, right? Because it is a concept. So in every subject, there are knowledge, there are concepts, and there are skills. In every subject, it has different types of skills. For example, if you're teaching Arabic, Arabic is not just knowledge. The knowledge is restricted in Arabic to grammar and poetry, perhaps. And the rest of it, because it's a language, any language is mainly a group of skills. Skill of listening, skill of speaking, skill of reading, skill of writing. Am I clear now? Am I getting clear? Okay. So now we need to focus on these three things. Every school, every principal, every teacher, every student should be able to distinguish between these three things. So when you prepare your lesson, right, you would know this is knowledge, these are concepts. I need to understand them first. So when I explain them to the students, they would be very clear. And then there are some skills. I hope you focus on this. We'll come back many times, frequently, to talk about this. In Quran, for example, there are some knowledge, there are some concepts, and there are some skills. The skill of recitation, the skill of tajweed, it is a skill. It's not knowledge, it's not. You can get the information about the rules of tajweed, right? You get the knowledge. You understand them when it is explained to you. Noon bighunna or noon bidun ghunna, and you understand this. But the most important thing in tajweed is what? Is the application. When you apply them, and to apply them, this is a skill. And skills are usually gained by repetition and by practice. So knowledge is gained by saying it one time, right? And depends on memory. Concepts are gained by explanation, and skills are gained by repetition and practice. Because when you know the difference, you know that each one of them needs to be tackled in a different way. Now when we come back to our exams, the first thing is that, do our exam measure these things? Definitely not. Because you cannot put a written exam that measure the oral skill of the student's ability to speak. You cannot do that. Can you? No, you cannot. So based on this, that's why all our exams need to be redesigned. Some parts of the exam should be oral because they measure the oral skills. Some parts of them are writing. Some parts of them even listening. How many of us made exams to the students by letting them listen to a text and listen to a radio or listen to something recorded and asking them about something that was recorded in it? Do we do that? So how can we measure the listening skill of the students when they study any language? Any language. So this tells us where there are some weaknesses in the exams. Is this clear, or you're objecting? Can I get any comment? No comments, or that you don't like my suggestion. Anyway, this again requires from us something very important, something called the starting point. any student enrolls in a school, we should know the starting point of this student in order to know whether he progressed or not. If we don't know this starting point, we will be deceived. Student joins your school, and after 5 months, he or she memorized 10 surahs. You're very happy. But you didn't know that when he joined your school, he had already memorized 50 surahs. Do you see what I'm saying? He didn't know that. So he's not progressing. He's not progressing. In fact, he's standing still where he or she was. So that's why it's important to have something called diagnostic exams. How many of you do that? Okay, no answers. Anyway, so now it's a point that really needs consideration. Yeah, diagnostic exams. Any student join the school, you make diagnosis for him. You diagnose him. Where is he or she when he joins the school? So after 6 months or after 2 years, after 3 years, you can say that our school made this progress. Am I clear? But this requires a lot of effort that should be spent on these exams to make them comprehensive, to be able to measure all the skills and the concept and the knowledge. And this again would let you, would open your mind to when you read the curriculum, the textbook that you are using, you can classify this piece of information as knowledge, and this one as a concept, and this one is a skill. If you go through your textbook or the curriculum and you do this, you will be you will be a star in education. And you will see the difference between you and other teachers, and will see the difference between your school and other schools. Any question, any comment before we finish this episode? No comments? Okay.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum assalam.
Just said that we should be aware of what we are going to teach. So the teachers are usually aware of it.
If they are aware of it, that's fine. That's what we're looking for. That's what I asked in the beginning. Are they aware of it and they are doing it? That's fine. And there is 2 levels. One level is being aware of it, and the other level is being aware of knowing it and being able to do it. Because you may know that this is a concept, but you don't teach it as a concept. Okay, I hope I'm clear on that, and I hope, inshallah, next episodes we can come back to this point and move again to other points. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.